So you're the guy that cuts the grass, not sells me the grass, aren't you? And I was like, yep, just cut the grass. He's like, well, if you ever need me to sell you some grass, let me know. And I was like, okay.
What? What's up, guys? Welcome into another episode of the Cutting Up Podcast. We're back. We've got my man, Kyler Lee here, the owner of Lee Landscaping, newest landscaping company in Knoxville, Tennessee. And so, how we feeling, my man?
Feeling good. How are you?
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Ready to get this haircut started?
Oh, yeah.
Let's get it started.
Let's do it.
What are we gonna do today? Same as last time?
Same as last time, man. Short on the sides,
Turned out
a
well?
little bit in the front. Yep.
Kara liked it?
Kara liked it. Yeah.
That's what matters there.
That's all that matters.
Awesome, my man. So, we got a busy day today. Weather's changing for you.
Yeah, grass is definitely starting to slow down a little bit for me, but getting some landscaping jobs, stuff like that, yeah.
So, Lee's Landscaping, tell us a little bit about it.
So really, like, I've never done anything lawn care for like 15 years. Like, I didn't do anything. I didn't even weed eat my own yard, nothing like that. And then I got a text from my youth pastor, and he said that he knew a guy and he was needing some help doing some like lawn care stuff. And I was like, you know, I'll help him out. I don't really know anything, but I'll help him out. So I started working for him. And then I was like, man, this is, like, I enjoy this, you know, and it makes good money. But, like, I need to start my own. And then this last year, I decided, you know, to pull the trigger, buy a couple of equipment stuff, and start my own landscaping business.
Did you ever think this is what you'd be doing?
No, not at all.
Now, you made a pretty big decision, because obviously, how old are you, Kyler?
I'm 18, yeah.
18, yeah. So you decided instead of, which you're still young and things could change, but for now, instead of going to college, you were going to go ahead and start your own business. Did that take a lot of thought or a lot of time? What do you think?
Yeah, so it took a lot of convincing. Trying to convince my, like, family, Kara, obviously. But, I mean, for me, I was just like, let's do it. Like, I didn't really care, you know?
Yeah.
But other than that, it was just pretty much convincing family and stuff that I should do this.
Yeah, man. Because I do want to talk about that a little bit because, you know, I think growing up, you can probably vouch for this. I know in my life, like, growing up through middle school and high school, everybody starts to talk about, okay, what are you going to do when you get older? Where are you going to go to school?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And they really start to hammer, like, to push everyone to go to college. And I think college is a really good place. And I think it's for a lot of people. I do not believe it's for everybody. I don't think it's a one answer. I know both my dad, both my stepdad, neither of them went to college. Both of them barely graduated high school. And they both own their own businesses, multiple businesses, and they're doing great things, very successful. So I was fortunate enough to have that in my back pocket, have them in my ear. And so I always knew, okay, college isn't the only way for success. There's not only one way to be successful. There's not only one way to start a business to, you know, become who you want to become. But a lot of people don't get that. So you tell me as far as, you know, your experience with that work, because I'm sure you heard a lot of those same voices and those same comments of like, oh, Kyler, you have to go to college. What are you talking about? Why wouldn't you go to college? That you can work for the rest of your life. What ultimately ended up being your deciding factor and to go ahead and start the business and become an entrepreneur at such a young age?
I'll be honest with you, I just seen the money and it kind of convinced me.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of money in lawn landscaping, but it's a little difficult to get into. And then once you're in it, it's obviously hard work.
Right.
But both my mom and dad, they did not go to college. But what was weird is they were trying to convince me to go to college. So, I mean, I had to convince them. But really, honestly, I was just seeing like, okay, you know, I'm going to be spending, you know, 4 years of college. I'm going to be paying all this money at college. And then I'm going to come out of it with a degree that I have no idea what I'm going to do with, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, I have an idea, you know, maybe lawn and landscaping. So why don't I just invest my money into that? And then I'm getting money while like learning how to do it, right?
Yep.
So I kind of look at it as like, okay, I'm taking almost like a trade school class almost.
Yeah.
Because it's somewhat of a trade. And I'm taking this and like these couple of years, I'm doing it and I'm getting paid while doing it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I looked at it as. And that's just kind of what I've been running with.
Dude, getting out and just doing it, you're going to learn so much more than any business school can teach you. Now, I do think that business schools and college in general is very helpful. And for a lot of people, I think it is the direction to go. But I think there's so much you just can't be taught in a classroom. You know what I mean? Especially for different kinds of people too. Like, I don't know what your learning style is, but like for me, myself, like I didn't do well in any classroom. You know what I mean? Like now if we were working on a project or we were doing a group thing, I could do really well at that. You know what I mean? Even if it was a presentation, but like sitting there listening to a teacher talk for an hour. I can't pay attention that long. You know what I mean? I can't stay attention.
Yeah, like
that's kind of. I was tuning out so early, dude, and I was terrible at doing like the daily homework, the repetitive stuff. That kind of stuff was just not for me. And so I knew that pretty quickly, that it was like, I did 2 years of college.
Yeah.
And it was more of kind of like, okay, I'm just going to do this for the foundations. Obviously, I came down here from Indiana. It was the best decision I made. So I'm glad I did it. But after my 2 years, it was very apparent where it was like, dude, there's no need for a 4-year degree for me. Like, I know what I want to do. I know what I'm going to do.
Right.
And whether I get a 4-year degree or not is never going to change.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to change where I end up. So it was like, why waste the time and money? I'm better off just getting out and getting started.
Yeah.
And I'll learn as I go, kind of a thing. And so.
Yeah, that's kind of how I looked at it too. And like, there's been times where I'm like, man, I should have went and got a business degree, right? Yeah. I'm like really struggling. Like, I'm like, I don't know how to do this, you know, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I think with like nowadays with YouTube and the amount of access we have just with YouTube that's like free.
1,000%.
I would just YouTube stuff, man. And I'd be like, oh, I guess this is how you do it. And then I'd figure it out. And I'd be like, okay, well, you know, I figured this out in 1 week. I had a little bit of stress over it. But like, if I would have went to college for 2 to 4 years and put so much more money into it, like, it's worth having some stress for a week.
Definitely.
And just getting through it, you know?
The truth is, half that stuff that you think, like, yeah, if I would have went to school, they would have taught you. They don't even teach you that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not teaching you how to file for all your licenses and get your taxes in order and all those things. Like, they don't teach you any of that stuff, you know?
Yeah, well, that's what I kind of had trouble with, like, getting all that stuff.
I mean, dude, I'm 3 years in. I still don't understand all the taxes and everything like that. Like, I'm waiting on the IRS to come knock on my door at any point and be like, you owe us money for this.
Right.
This. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot to deal with, especially when you're applying for the business license and all that. Like, I don't even know all the things I applied for and paid for and signed up for. Like, I really don't, you know what I mean? And so it's just.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, but it's tough, but.
I think overall, like, it's definitely like if you're weighing in, like, go to 4-year college or something for this amount of money, I think it's definitely worth not going. If you're going to be starting like a lawn and landscaping or just like a smaller business, that you kind of just got to figure it out while we go, you know?
I think it definitely depends on your career path. You know what I'm saying? What do you want to be? That is true,
yeah.
You know, what do you want to be? Because there's some jobs and professions where
you have to have that.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. Like, you have to go to 4-year degree. Like, you can't just show up and be like, oh, I watched a YouTube video on how to do this. Now trust me with this.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it's just, you have to weigh what do you foresee yourself doing? What business are you going into and go from there. So let me ask you this, or I guess you're 6 months in or so.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Do you think you still will end up going to college at some point, or do you think that this is the future for you, or what?
Man, I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm praying about it. So, like, there's definitely benefits, and then there's obviously, like, some stuff that's a little tough with lawn care. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'd say, like, the biggest benefit is, like if you want work, I feel like you can just go out and get it. You know what I mean? Like, if you work hard, you can make a good, successful career.
1,000%.
But then saying that, like, man, when it's 95 degrees out and, you know, the humidity is insane, like, and you're on your, you know, you're doing some condos and you're on your, like, 40th yard, dude, it's just like, oh my goodness. You know,
you're dying, dude.
You're out there dying. So it's, I don't know, it's definitely something to pray about. And then also, like, I haven't really went through a winter, like, on my own yet, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know exactly how much work I'm going to get in the winter. Like, I picked up some stuff lately, just like with it being like the grass slowing down, but I don't know if that's going to slow down or not.
What do people typically transition to?
So we typically transition to, like, we'll do some like leaf cleanups and stuff like that, like in this fall area. And then, you know, winter we'll do like tree work and stuff. That's what I've heard. But, you know, I've gotten a little bit of tree work, you know, and I've gotten like a little bit of like leaf cleanup stuff right now, but I definitely need to get some more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's something also I gotta like look at. But in the summer, you know, I think this summer the most hours I worked was like, I want to say like 68 hours or something. Like Monday through Sunday almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's brutal.
Jonah's calling you to pick up overtime hours to come fix his mulch bed.
Yeah. I know, I was going there like in the afternoons.
Dude, sell us on Lee's Landscaping though. Seriously, tell us why people in Knoxville, families, homes, homeowners should call you up and call Kyler out there to get their landscaping needs taken care of.
Man, so just what I've been hearing like from like my customers that they really like about me is one, I communicate like really well. And I think that's like kind of being kind of your, you know, smaller landscaping company. Cause you get those bigger guys and, you know, you got Miss Betty over here with her small yard, you know, that only pays $40 and Miss Betty's trying to call them and they're like, who cares about her? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll get you on schedule, you know, you got any questions? Where like me, you know, just being like a little bit more like locally owned and stuff like that, they can just call me up and be like, hey, you know, you mind getting the weeds in the flower bed? I'm like, yeah, you know, like I hit those. Like they can communicate with me really well. Mm-hmm. And then I'd say like another thing is like I really am big about like schedule. Like if I put you on a schedule, like I'm going to try my best to get you that. Like I know weather kind of gets in the way of stuff sometimes, but like I'm going to try to get you like that day, you know, close to the same time that I tell you to. And people's really like that about me too.
I have a question for you because I envision that in my head, landscaping has some similarities to haircutting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I grew up, you said what? Dawn's laughing at us. What are you laughing at?
It was a little bit of a dirty joke. I'll leave it out.
Just say it, and then if we don't like it, we'll just bleep it.
I mean, It's like manscaping and landscaping.
Cutting something.
Am I right?
Cutting something.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, I mean truthfully, I feel like it is because from the aspect of like, it is satisfying, right?
Yeah, it definitely is, yeah.
No more jokes, Dalton. It is satisfying, okay?
Yeah.
And so, like growing up, I used to mow our lawn. That was my chore. I would always mow our lawn, but we had we were in like a subdivision. It was a small little yard. Mm-hmm. So I would push mow it. It would take me, 20 minutes on the front yard and 30 minutes on the back.
Yeah.
But I used to enjoy it. You see the lines in there, you make it look crisp, you get done and you can look at it. You're like, man, I did something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. A lot of people feel the same way about haircutting, where they go do a haircut and it's satisfying. You're working on something, and then when you get done, you do a really good fade or you do a really good work. You're like, man, that was nice,
Yeah.
However, my question for you is, after you've done it a million times, is it still like a satisfying thing that you go out and appreciate? Because to be honest, I enjoy the conversations and seeing my clients, but the haircut aspect of it isn't very satisfying to me anymore. Like the process, everything like that. Like it's just something I do now. Mm-hmm. I don't really get satisfied, or very rarely do I finish a cut and I'm like, man, that was awesome. That was a good job. Like I expect all my cuts to be good. Mm-hmm. And so it's just kind of like, it's not the same anymore. Do you feel the same way, or do you genuinely enjoy and take a lot of satisfaction in the work that you do?
It kind of depends on the job, to be honest with you. So like if we got like a nicer yard, like I have some nicer yards that like stripe really well and stuff.
Yeah.
Like after those yards, I'm like, man, that looks good. Like I get a picture after those yards like every time.
Yeah.
But then I also have some yards that are kind of just like, they don't really care about their yard. They just don't want the city calling them pretty much.
Yeah.
And like those yards I don't really enjoy. I'm just kind of clocking in, clocking out kind of type thing,
I guess that could be said for me as well, where there's some clients that, they care about their haircuts and they keep up with them semi-often and they like a good fade. And then there's some guys that are just like, dude, just...
like once every other month, just give me...
Or not even, dude. There'll be some that'll be like once every like 6 months. And it's just like,
oh, wow.
Shave it all down, see you again. That's Dalton, yes. He's pointing his finger at himself. That's Dalton right there. Used to be Dalton. We're getting better. His mom's proud of us because we're making him get haircuts more often, so... But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know that it's the most satisfying all the time, but I guess there are a few clients that I still enjoy the process on the haircut itself, not just the conversation and getting to see them again. But
yeah, and then I also like enjoy like if a yard's like, I have this one guy, he flips houses and stuff, and he gives me a call and he's pretty much just like it's like a big transformation, like we get yards that are like 2 foot high, the flower beds are just like, can't even see them because it's so much growth. Can't even see the bottom of them, And like those yards I actually enjoy because like we get before and after pictures and they look just like insane amount of difference,
Yeah. So the other correlation that I assume we have in common is the clients, because like we said before, some clients really, really care about their hair, which those are normally my favorite. And I'm sure some clients really, really care about their yard, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So give me some stories about, or one story that sticks out in your mind about clients, because I have a ton of them.
Yeah.
But I know you got to have some too, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll say like the most like strange one is I was cutting this client's yard and their neighbor walks over, right?
Uh-huh.
And they're like, did you mow our grass? And I was like, no, I did not mow your grass. And I've been mowing this guy, like, he was like one of my first customers, so I mowed him like all year, right?
Yeah.
And this just happened maybe like 4 or 5 weeks ago, so kind of recent. And she's like, well, why is it so brown? And I was like, well, I would assume because like the weather, you know, we haven't got much rain, you know? And she was like, well, my brother said that you've been coming over here and mowing it to the dirt. And I'm like, man, why would I do that? And she was like, well, I don't know about you and y'all's lawn care, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I would not come and cut your yard at all. And she was so mad, dude. And I ignored her. I just kept going. And she was just yelling at me. I just put my earbuds in. I was like, I don't care.
That's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And then I'll tell you another strange story. So I cut this dude's yard, and I'll be honest, it's a little janky, you know, subdivision. Mm-hmm. And he calls me one of these times, and he's like, wait, who are you? And I'm like, you know, I'm Kyler Lee. I cut your yard, you know. And he's like, are you the guy? He says, so you're the guy that cuts the grass, not sells me the grass, aren't you? And I was like, yep, just cut the grass. He's like, well, if you ever need me to sell you some grass, let me know. And I was like, okay.
What?
He's talking about weed, I think, dude, or something. Yeah, that was a little strange.
So you're coming from New Mexico, right?
Yeah.
How do you like it?
Oh, I love it here. That's where, like, I never even knew there was, like, lawn care companies. Yeah, because, like, in New Mexico, like, I'm not even kidding. My dad would cut our grass, like, twice a year.
Dude, I was in, you know this, I was in California not too long ago, Palm Springs. So it was in the desert area, not, you know, LA or anything like that, but Palm Springs, dude, in the subdivision we were in there, like there was like 3 houses that even had grass, period. Like everyone else was just how it was, sand or dirt or just different plants, but there was literally no grass. Like there was 2 or 3 people that had absolutely beautiful grass that you could tell that they made a huge effort in it. And then the rest of it was literally just nothing. Like there was no grass at all.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was in New Mexico. And like I moved up here when I was like 15, and now I'm 18. So like me dreaming of like a lawn care company was like not even in the picture at all, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I never would have thought I would.
I never even touched a lawnmower before.
Yeah, literally.
Now you're doing this, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. So you like Knoxville better than New Mexico?
Yeah, overall I definitely like it better. It's a lot more pretty in my opinion up here and a lot nicer people.
All right, Dalton, I need you to help settle a debate for us, okay? I'm going to give you a hypothetical story here, okay? Hypothetically, you decide to go with your family, cousins, brothers, everything, you know, big family gathering. You guys all go to let's just say like a corn maze pumpkin patch, right?
Okay.
And hypothetically, they have a little booth there where they let you throw the baseball at the projector screen and it tells you the speed that you throw it, hypothetically. Right?
Sure.
So you and a couple of other guys are going to start throwing the baseball and kind of see who's got the better arm, hypothetically. Right? So hypothetically, you go up there. The first time you go with one of the cousins, you kind of just sneak off over there, one of the brothers or whatever. You guys throw a little bit. You come back and you say, oh, I threw 59 miles an hour. Let's say you threw 59 miles an hour.
That's kind of weak.
Kind of weak, right? The other one threw 51. That was the first time. So then now the whole family goes over there. You all go over there and you throw. And this time you throw about 63 miles an hour. Okay?
That's not bad.
And then, hypothetically, everyone leaves. And you and your girlfriend stay back. And then all of a sudden you send a picture of 81 miles an hour. Hypothetically, do you believe that person that says they now threw 81 miles per hour after the last 2 times they threw 59 and 63?
Maybe. There's one way that I truly believe it.
Okay.
If the girlfriend said it happened.
There's no way that's the way you believe it, though. Because why would the girlfriend's obviously going to defend the boyfriend? That's her boyfriend.
Because I know for a fact that if I did that with Morgan would be the first person to hype me up. But if I didn't and I tried to lie about it, Morgan would check me.
But that's how many years into your relationship are you?
7.
Okay, now let's say you guys are 7 months into your relationship. Things are different, right?
Bro.
You're not as comfortable yet. You're not willing to call him out and make fun and make the jokes, right?
You know Kara would call me out.
No. You're kind of in that lovey-dovey stage, you know? Settle it, Dalton. Do we believe the 81 or do we not believe the 81?
You know, man, I hate to break it, but I think I don't have the 81 anymore, man.
Listen, I'll call Kara right now.
No, we
all do the talking.
Kara doesn't count.
We
all do the talking.
We need a video.
We should have took a video.
Should have taken a video. That would have done it. That would have settled it.
Nah, here's what happened though. First off, me and Jonas were throwing, and I was throwing faster than him every time. He was getting a little jealous. and then he leaves, you know, and me and Kara are there, and I try to like switch up my form, you know, and I hit 69, and I'm like, okay, this is the highest I got.
Nice.
So I'm like, okay.
Should have stopped there, right?
I should have stopped there, because y'all would actually believe that.
That's believable right there.
And then I was like, all right, I'm going to go like all out, but like kind of like sidearm, because that's what I did to do the 69. And it said 81, and I was like, Kara, we got to get a picture. And now this man don't believe me.
In my head, what I truly believe, I can accept that you threw 1 mile an hour faster than me. You threw 63. With my eyes, I saw you throw 63.
That's true.
And I threw 62. And that's what I believe. I'm willing to say you threw stronger, but I can't accept that you threw the ball 20 miles an hour stronger.
Okay, so here's my big question with this.
Okay.
What did you do differently to throw 81? Because like throwing 80 in general for somebody who's not like, did you play ball in high school?
No, not at all.
Bro, no way you threw 80.
Okay, so I don't know if it was messed up or not.
To me, the numbers don't really matter because this is a corn maze projector with like, I mean, was it really accurate?
That is true. It could have not been accurate.
I don't know that it's actually 81 miles an hour, but the fact that it was 20 more than whatever it was from beforehand, that's the bigger thing here.
No, I could agree that like the projectors could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I am saying I threw the ball and it said 81. But I will say like, so I was throwing overhand and then I was like, I'm gonna just try sidearm. And then it said 69, like right when I did sidearm. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try sidearm like really, really hard, you know? And then it said 81, and then my shoulder was like done for.
So okay, here's my, now that you say that
is
though,
a little more
do you,
that sidearm.
this is popping in my head here. Do you not think he could throw 81 miles an hour, Dalton?
I mean, I've never seen you throw a ball.
But like, do you think the average person can throw 80 miles an hour?
No.
70 miles an hour? You don't think so?
I think the average person could probably hit like 72, 73, but like, unless you're playing ball and unless you've got like the technique, anything over 80, like,
well, are we talking,
have technique and strength.
Are we talking just like your average like athlete, or are we talking about like you're just average Joe?
Like,
you know what I mean?
Average Joe.
Average Joe.
Like, goes to the gym maybe once or twice a week at most. But
maybe has a sport he plays.
Most of the time skips, you know what I mean? Plays ball with his kids in the yard, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I think probably like 65 or something.
I'd say most people that go up there are probably in the 60s.
Yeah, so we've seen like a couple guys like throw before us, and they were about, what was it, 55 or something like that? Or I guess you weren't there. It was like me and Reagan, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't there yet.
Yeah, they were all doing like 55s, 50s, something like that. I think there's one way to find out.
Gotta go back.
We're gonna have to go back.
We need to set it up. We need a video.
Set it back.
We'll come back with a video of me throwing 81.
You know what we need? We'll set up like a little like pitch radar here in the parking lot.
Oh, that would be cool.
That'd be accurate. And then I would believe it.
Come get your haircut and throw a pitch.
Just 18 faster. I mean,
dude, that would be dope World Series promo.
That could, you could be like throw over 80, get a free haircut or something like that.
Yep. World Series promo. Rangers versus the Phillies.
I'd be getting me a free haircut, I'll tell you that. So like I know like lawn care and like hair cutting, like there's similarities, but do you have like busy times of the year and like slow times of the year?
Yeah.
That's kind of
so it's going to be the complete opposite of yours pretty much. Like right now, this is the busiest time of year. Pretty much
because of holidays probably. Huh?
August through the end of the year becomes the busiest because you have everyone coming back from vacation, you have back to school time, all the kids come back to UT, and then you hit the holidays, you hit your Thanksgiving, your Christmas, your New Year. So people are coming in more frequently, and people that don't come in, at all, they're coming in now. So it definitely gets more busy around this time. And then New Year hits in January through like March is pretty slow. And then because then also too, it's like it's cold weather, the holidays are over, people stop carrying, they're just like, hey, I'm gonna grow it out.
They spent their money on Christmas gifts.
They spent their money, like they're gonna just grow out their hair. And then once it starts to get like March, April, it starts to heat up a little bit, the sun starts coming out, they're like sweating. But I gotta get rid of this hair. So that's kind of when it picks back up. And then the summer's kind of just hit and miss because you have so many people, kids are out of school, you have so many people in and out of vacation. So it's kind of like, it's a good period, but it's not our busiest. And then, so far December is always like our highest earning month. Like right now, our biggest was this past August was our record month, but I have no doubt that November and December will beat that. So this is our busy season right now.
So what you're saying is I do lawn care in the summer and then I come cut hair.
Cut hair. Yes, 100%. That's what you should do. Because you could knock out barber school just about in your slow season or get, I guess not all the way, but.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You could go full time and then go part time after when it gets busy.
Just work double, about a year. Double, you know.
There we go.
Yeah, I did cut my brother's hair. I think
How does that go?
I think it looks great every time, but he'll disagree with you.
Tyler, well, man, I appreciate you coming on. Let's check this haircut out.
All right, man, I appreciate you.
Good for you. And then we'll wrap this thing up.
Looking good, like always.
Like that, my man. Got the back of the neck right again.
Oh, yeah,
you like the man. That taper feeling?
You the man.
My man, Kyler. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Now, tell us real quick, I want you to tell the people where they can find you.
Yes.
So whether that's your business or your personal stuff, your social medias.
All right, yeah, you can find me on Google at Lee's Lawn Care in just Knoxville, Tennessee. My number's there, but if not, it's 575-361-9136, and give me a call.
And what all do you do? Tell us everything you do.
All right, so I do cutting grass on weekly, bi-weekly schedules. I do mulching, trimming flower beds, the bushes. I do small tree trimming, leaf removals, and if we happen to get snow, give me a call and I'll do snow removal too.
He's a man, and leave him a 5-star review on Google because we're trying to run those numbers up. So
thank
you guys for watching. Kyler, thank you for coming on. We will see you guys next week. Peace out.